we're met with yet another DLC character, this one from the Thunderbolts DLC character pack. This is Citizen V, or Citizen 5. I'm going to stick with Citizen V based on my limited extent of research. Besides, he was an agent of the V Battalion, and V Battalion sounds more correct than 5 Battalion. Anyway, I thought this dude looked pretty cool in this game. Again, I don't have any idea who this guy is, but he looks cool, and for that I feel like he would be more useful. Obviously, I still think he's better than all the characters we've seen so far, but I mean, he's a little disappointing. He has 3 abilities, and those abilities are agility, regenerative health, and technology. At least, I'm pretty sure those are the only 3 abilities he has. When researching this game for character rankings, all of the base game characters had all their abilities laid out for me on a wiki, which makes things easier for me, especially since I have to rank a whole 297 characters. However, not a lot of the DLC characters have their abilities logged, so I had to go through each character and test to see if a character had a certain ability. Some characters are easy to guess, but I mean, not all. With Citizen V, I found agility, regenerative health, and technology. It's not really likely that he has more abilities, but if he does, that's my bad. Again, I do not remember who this chick is at all. Oh, she was that person in Iron Man 3 who was behind the Extremis project. Oh, and Aldrich Killian ended up killing her. I guess that makes sense why I don't remember her then. Maya Hansen is essentially just Jane Foster and Pepper Potts put into one. Pepper Potts has agility and technology, and Jane Foster has technology and scan. Well, Maya Hansen has agility, technology, and scan. It all works out, I guess. But I mean, based on my limited memory of her in the wiki for reference, the technology and scan makes sense. I mean, if she can chemically alter people's DNA to make them super angry and fireproof, that's gotta make her smart, right? Even if it's in a very twisted way. But as is the recurring theme in this series, Maya Hansen having agility, I just disagree. I feel like agility is a cop-out in this game when the developers have no clue how to make a character more useful. This is quite possibly the most boring character in this game, and I'm not joking when I say that. In a game with the Avengers and tons of other cool niche characters, they still make room for this guy and not a standard Chitauri character? To be fair, there's a stark lack of X-Men and Fantastic Four, but they seem to have made do without them in this game with characters we've seen and we will see for the entirety of this series. I just think Shield Scientist is a lame character for a LEGO game based on a superhero franchise. At least regular people in this game are usually given names. Anyway, the Shield Scientist has everything you would expect, and those abilities are shield, technology, and scan. I mean, shield's in his name. Come on. And aside from that, I'm at a loss for words. I mean, usually when I run out of things to say for a character, I consult the Marvel Wiki because there might be something cool about them, but the Shield Scientist doesn't even have a wiki page. He's literally nameless. Another Thor character here with Sif. Sif is an interesting case because I feel like she's shown up several times but was never of any real importance. I mean, she showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in 2 episodes, and she was the focus in those, but that's because they needed to take advantage of a character from an actual MCU movie with any opportunity they can get. Sif's most recent appearance was in the Loki show, in a time loop where Loki cut off her hair. She kept coming over and slapping him or something. She's apparently going to be in the next Thor movie, but I bet she's going to get 3 seconds of screen time, maybe less. At least you actually get to play as Sif in the Lost in the Aether level, the Thor the Dark World level in this game. Sif's 3 abilities are Deflect, Extinguish, and Agility. 2 of those are new, so I'll take my time and explain. Deflect are primarily for characters with shields, and Sif has a shield, so there you go. There's usually a podium they stand on with most likely a giant laser shooting at them, While on the podium, characters with deflect deflect the laser. It's usually used to blow up gold pieces around the laser. And yeah, that's it. The other new ability is Extinguish. It's actually not new to the series. A few parts ago, I went over Laufey and his ice ability. Those with the ice ability can also use ice to extinguish fires. I just forgot to mention. Anywho, those with shields can jump onto fires and take them out. Sif, having a shield, can do this. Agility goes without saying, so I mean, let's just move on. Well, doesn't this look like the most stereotypical villain ever? He even has a skull and crossbones on his chest. I guess he is named the Grim Reaper after all. This guy's outfit is kind of wacky in general, and he has a scythe for a hand, so subtlety is kind of out the window at this point. This guy would not fit into the MCU at all, at least not in this getup. I guess we just have to wait and see in a few years once they run out of enough characters to use that they have to resort to this guy to see how he'll be. Anyway, the Grim Reaper has 3 abilities, one of which is new. The 2 abilities we've seen before are Regenerative Health and Cracked Wall. I'm not sure if Grim Reaper is strong enough to break down entire walls with one scythe hand, but maybe. His 3rd ability, that is new, is the Great ability. This ability is actually used quite a lot, but you don't unlock someone who can use it until the last level in the entire campaign, and this Great just happens to have the same color scheme as that character. Anyway, those with the Great ability can interact with them, and it's essentially a portal to a secret area. I was going to say the Grim Reaper shouldn't have the Great ability since he has no superhuman powers. He was just, a scythe-wielding maniac, but that only used to be true. Apparently he died at one point and was resurrected and was given the power of necromancy. Even though necromancy is essentially just bringing people back to life and not phasing through walls, I'll allow it. Here's another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. DLC character, this time being Reyna. Reyna here was one of those characters that had a bigger role in the show early on, and then later the writers had no idea what to do with her and kind of just killed her off. I mean, that's just my opinion, and frankly, I'm not gonna elaborate. The Reyna we see in this game was her form during the portion of the show where the writers didn't know what to do, so they just made her an inhuman. That's why she looks like an alien in this game. However, her grotesque transformation really made her more useful in this game than she would have been otherwise, pre-Gremlin. I can almost guarantee that Reyna would have agility only if she was just in her human form. Anyway, Reyna has 3 abilities, and as I said, one is agility, and the other 2 are dig and cracked wall. All these abilities, I agree with them, so let's just move on. Damage Control has flown under the radar in the MCU for the longest time. Damage Control is the team of people who are tasked with cleaning up the mess the superheroes leave after they're done murdering the villain of the week or something. Apparently, there was even talks of a Damage Control show after the initial success of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I mean, isn't S.H.I.E.L.D. already Damage Control, just with extra steps? Well, Damage Control is also a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., so maybe it's just, a certain division. In any case, they show up in this game, and this guy gives a few quests in the open areas. I wasn't a big fan of them, because you basically just follow the guy around and defend him as he cleans up like a pile of debris. It's pretty boring. But you do unlock this guy from one of those quests. The most obvious ability is, the S.H.I.E.L.D. ability. The other 2 are Toxic Goo Immunity and Dig. I guess in theory both of those make sense, but he wields a broom, so he shouldn't dig. It's not a deal breaker by any means, it's just, I just need stuff to say. Yet again, another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy, this time it's Agent KOENIG, also known as the guy Patton Oswalt played. Or, the guys Patton Oswalt played. Well, I mean, technically, Patton Oswalt did play, 4 Agent KOENIGs? The first one was killed by Grant Ward after he revealed himself as a Hydra agent. Spoilers, not that you care. The second one was his twin brother that was also a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And then he has, 2 more brothers, I think, that are also S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. It would have been funny if one of the Patton Oswalts was a Hydra spy, but, I digress. Since the game only lists him as Agent KOENIG, it doesn't specify if it's the one that died or one of his brothers. But I'm going to assume it's one of his brothers, though, not that it really matters. Agent KOENIG has 3 abilities, one of which being shield, since I've mentioned several times that, all of the KOENIGs are shield agents. The other 2 are more interesting. One is stealth, and he takes out an umbrella that totally covers him and makes him invisible. This was briefly in the show, so it's cool that was like kind of a little detail. The other one is wackier. I guess this game did take into account the amount of Patton Oswalts in the show, so they incorporated it into the backup ability. Agent KOENIG can call in more KOENIGs to fight with him. That's actually pretty creative. I like that. Excuse me, but this is probably the most boring characters in the game. I literally just said that with the shield scientist, but this guy too. So you remember Batty von McEvilface, aka Baron Strucker? Well, apparently this is his right hand. Dr. List was an undercover shield agent and started working with Baron Strucker after the events of the Winter Soldier. Actually, Dr. List's page in the MCU wiki is surprisingly long, especially for a guy who died in the first 15 minutes of Age of Ultron by an Iron Man repulsor blast. Despite my carelessness for this guy, he's at least ranked higher than Baron Strucker, so that's gotta count for something. He has 3 abilities, and they're all pretty much what you'd expect. Obviously, from all this Hydra and shield talk, it almost goes without saying that he has the Hydra ability and therefore the shield ability too. He also has the technology ability, which I guess makes sense. He's a doctor. He's the doctor who experimented on the Maximoff twins, so I guess you need high-tech stuff for that. So sure, technology. Now here's a Hydra face worthwhile. No Baron Strucker, no Dr. List, no. ARNIM ZOLA was Red Skull's right hand, and therefore one of the biggest players in the history of Hydra. This is a guy that's deserving of his place in this game. Now, is he a character I would play normally? Of course not. No one in this point of the list is someone I'd play. The game wouldn't even choose these guys as part of your roster when you play a level in free play. Still though, ARNIM ZOLA should be in the roster. Ability wise, ARNIM ZOLA is the same as Dr. List, so his abilities are shield, Hydra, and technology. This is one of those cases in which I don't think a Hydra character should also have the shield ability. ARNIM ZOLA's cover was fully blown from the get-go. During his life, he was openly a part of Hydra during World War II. S.H.I.E.L.D. knows who this guy is. He knows he's evil, unlike a good chunk of their agents who were undercover. So I believe ARNIM ZOLA should have Hydra, just not S.H.I.E.L.D., but he has it, and I can't take it away. So